Good evening and many thanks for joining us. Welcome to CoreTV News at 7 with me, Emmanuel Ezekiel. The All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Organization has denied that President-elect Muhammadu Buhari promised to end the Boko Haram insurgency within 2 months. It described the rumor making the rounds in some media on the alleged time frame as misleading. Spokesman for the campaign team, Garuba Shehu, explained that the president-elect would need some time after being sworn in to study the situation before drawing up a strategy with security chiefs. This, he argued, is why President-elect Buhari did not and could not have set a 2 months time frame for stemming the tide of terrorism in the country in his media interactions. Shehu was, however, emphatic that the general was clear about his readiness to clear Boko Haram from the country. Now, some Abuja residents are convinced that Boko Haram and other groups with terrorist agenda will not thrive under the incoming administration of Muhammadu Buhari. They, however, want him to go a step further by reducing the number of unemployed people in the country. A number of them who spoke with CoreTV News on their expectations also look forward to better infrastructure in the next couple of days.
This Boko Haram should be brought down and let it not exist in this country again. Secondly is unemployment. Our children are suffering. We are suffering a lot. Our children, most of them are unemployed, and this is causing a lot of havoc to this country.
My advice for APC and Muhammad Buhari is to be focused, give people dividend of democracy that we most of all really fought for, so that history will be written that he has delivered. That's what I have for General Buhari.
What I expect from our new president, the new generation, is to give us employment for the youths. Thousands of graduates are being on the streets seeking for jobs, and also to create more industries, create infrastructure facilities, provide social amenity to the needs, to the rural community.
Nigeria's president-elect Muhammadu Buhari has received his certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission after being declared winner of the March 28 presidential poll. He received the certificate from INEC chairman Atahiru Jega at a brief ceremony graced by leaders of the All Progressives Congress. It also provided another opportunity for Buhari to reaffirm his zero tolerance for corruption and his readiness to take on the Boko Haram insurgency. It's only a few hours after Atahiru Jega, as chief returning officer of the presidential election, declared the APC candidate as Nigeria's new president. Now, he's back to hand over the certificate of return to the president-elect, who was accompanied by his deputy.
It is important that we do this for the integrity of our governance process and for deepening democracy in our country. We pledge to all Nigerians that as a commission, we will continue to do our best under all circumstances to ensure free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections. I would like at this point to acknowledge the contributions of a number of stakeholders to the successful conduct of the presidential elections. In particular, we would like to acknowledge the contributions of our permanent staff who have worked tirelessly under very difficult challenges to discharge their jobs credibly. In particular, we would like to express our appreciation to the Director General of the NYSC and the young men and women on national service who have worked also to ensure the credibility of this exercise.
The INEC chairman presented the certificate to Buhari in the presence of a large crowd of cheering party leaders and supporters. Knowing fully well that while celebrations are still on around the country, the president-elect appealed for restraint. He also insisted that he hopes to govern the country and not to rule.
I assure you that our government is one that will listen to and pledge myself and our incoming administration to just and principled governance. There shall be no bias against or favoritism for any Nigerian based on ethnicity, religion, region, gender, or social status. I pledge myself and the government to the rule of law, in which none shall be so above the law that they are not subject to its dictates, and none shall be so below it that they are not avail of its protection. You shall be able to go to bed knowing that you are safe and that your constitutional rights remain in safe hands.
The president-elect assured Boko Haram of a hard time and maintained that corruption would not be tolerated under his watch. One of the party leaders at the event was the national leader Bola Tinubu, who is still basking in the euphoria of APC's victory.
I'm proud and ready to work. The game changer.
As APC leaders leave the International Conference Center, chances are that they are thinking of the burden of fulfilling the myriads of electoral promises they made. But for now, they are content with enjoying their moment in the sun. The United States Secretary of State John Kerry has commended Nigerians and the federal government for the generally peaceful March 28 elections. He also had praised voters for exhibiting patience and resilience on Election Day in spite of the logistic challenges. In a statement issued by the U.S. Department of State, Kerry commended the Independent National Electoral Commission and its chairman, Tahiru Jega, on the use of card readers to increase the credibility and transparency of the electoral process. He added, while the U.S. government noted reports of logistic problems, it was convinced that such incidents did not undermine the overall outcome of the elections. Now, aftermath of the presidential and National Assembly elections recently conducted in Oyo State have been greeted with mixed reactions from residents who have continually made their stand known in the state. In a reaction to a protest staged by members of some political parties and groups who accuse the electoral body of malpractice during the elections, the resident electoral commissioner, Rufus Akeju, advised those dissatisfied with the result of the elections to assemble the facts and direct their claims to the Election Petition Tribunal. Omatayo Alo has more.
These residents have demonstrated through a protest their dissatisfaction to the outcome of the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections, which they described as a plot against all the political parties and an untrue representation of the people's mandates.
They frustrate us on INEC. They frustrate us on their polling booths. They frustrate us. They frustrate our stand. They frustrate democracy for us. They frustrate democracy. We win out the election. This is nonsense.
I brought my people to polling unit, about 2,000 people. When they be collecting the vote, we read it at the police center, it correct. After going to the local government, everything is scattered. So that is why we protest. And we don't want him, and they should not take away Jonathan voters, they should return the vote to Jonathan back.
In response to the group's allegation, the resident electoral commissioner, Rufus Akeju, says a generalized condemnation and rejection of the election is a disservice to the electoral system and an insult to the electorate who sacrificed against all odds to participate in the election.
If there is any foul play anywhere, they ought to have rested at that juncture. They need not sign the result they did not agree with. They are not novice in this business. So let us stop this rascality of just raising hell for nothing. We have grown up, we have come this far in this business, and it's never going to be business as usual again.
In a related development, Akeju advised political parties to engage in more voters' education with their supporters ahead of the governorship and House of Assembly poll in order to avoid the error of recording so many rejected votes, which are called as a result of inadequate sensitization.
A total of 47,254 votes were rejected. A casual examination or investigation of rejected ballot revealed that quite a large number of the voided papers arose from voting for parties that did not field candidates for the presidential election.
The electoral body also pleaded with residents to conduct themselves in the peaceful manner they demonstrated at the first election, while promising to improve on its services to the electorate by working on the issues that we earlier encountered at the poll. Omotayualo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Now we'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll tell you the visit of Indigbos to the APC governorship candidate in Lagos. Stay with us.
Don't you wish your mommy was fine like mine? Yeah. Don't you wish your mommy was smart like mine? Yeah. Don't you? Don't you wish your mommy could laugh like mine?
And that's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to help stay fit and healthy so she can take extra care of her family.
Don't you wish your wifey was hot like mine?
3 Crowns now comes in powder.
Welcome back. Well, you can reach us on our following social media platforms: Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News, and of course our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. You can also check our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space and the news. Still in the spirit of triumph, Indigbo leaders in Lagos have met with Akinwumi Ambode, Lagos APC governorship candidate, and some other APC stalwarts to congratulate the party on their victory at the just concluded presidential polls. Indigbo leaders also implored Ambode to be rest assured, promising that he will get the votes of Indigbos in Lagos come April 11th.
We have also sensitized our people to vote massively for APC during this gubernatorial election that is coming up on the 11th of April. Igbo leaders you can see here, Igbo of Lagos is here, many of us are here to come and have a meeting that will enable everybody to go back to his respective position. Location market leaders are equally here to continue to sensitize their people to continue to vote in mass for APC in Lagos State.
With the outcome of the result on Saturday, is attestation of the fact that the much needed APC that this country needs has been given. Hence, on Saturday, 11th of this month, the Indigbo in Lagos, what you see here today are Igbo leaders, market leaders. We shall convince our people, talk to our people, so that they will not go and repeat what they did on Saturday. On Saturday, most of Igbo people did sympathy vote to Jonathan. You understand me? That has come and gone. We're talking about Lagos, and we're talking about somebody that will, follow up to the bar that Fashola has.
Now, President-elect Muhammadu Buhari has called on all Nigerians to embrace peace this Easter and celebrate the nation's rebirth as they commemorate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. In an Easter message to Nigerians and the Christian world he personally signed, Nigeria's incoming leader urged the citizenry to unite and use the season of Easter to celebrate both the resurrection of Christ and the rebirth of the Nigerian nation. According to a message released by the campaign office, Buhari noted that having overcome the anxiety and fear that trailed the elections, it is now time to rebuild the nation with the values of peace and love for one another. And the police authorities have confirmed the death of former Inspector General of Police Muhammad Yusuf. The former police helmsman, who was popularly known as MD Yusuf, died on April 1st after a brief illness. Muhammad Yusuf was Nigeria's third indigenous Inspector General of Police between 1975 and 1979. In a statement issued by the police indicates that the late IG was seconded in the Nigeria Police Force as an Assistant Commissioner of Police in 1962 and later became Inspector General of Police on Wednesday, July the 30th, 1975. He was the chairman of the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG) in 1994. He was also the chairman of the Central Working Committee of the Socio-Cultural Group Arewa Consultative Forum in 2001. The late IG twice attempted to become president, first as a presidential candidate of the Grassroots Democratic Movement (GDM), and later on the platform of Movement for Democracy and Justice (MDJ). Now, President Goodluck Jonathan has commiserated with the government and people of Katsina State on the death of former Inspector General of Police Muhammad Diko Yusuf. He also condoled with Yusuf's family as well as the Arewa Consultative Forum on the death of one of its leaders. In a statement issued by the presidential spokesman Ruben Abati, the president expressed his belief that MD Yusuf will long be remembered for his outstanding political courage during Nigeria's transition to democracy after years of military rule. President Jonathan recalled that as leader of the Grassroots Democratic Movement at that time, the former IG displayed bravery and patriotism. Meanwhile, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has extolled what he describes as the extraordinary courage of the late Inspector General of Police Muhammad Diko Yusuf. In a tribute to MD Yusuf in Abuja on Thursday, the former vice president said the late senior police officer was one of the most courageous Nigerians and Nigerian politicians he had ever encountered. According to Atiku, many politicians retreated at a safe distance when the former Inspector General of Police stepped forward to challenge the military-approved political parties to effectuate the self-succession agenda of 1998. The former vice president, who was part of that democratic struggle, said the late Yusuf's sacrifices for democracy would not be forgotten in a hurry. Atiku noted that he was impressed by the late Yusuf's courage of conviction, challenging a self-succession agenda with the democratic space was shot against contrary voices. National leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, on Thursday held a closed-door meeting with another leader of the party and former vice president, Atiku Abubakar. The meeting was held at the Abuja home of the former vice president. Both men spent a couple of hours holding talks on what insiders describe as issues of national interest. CoreTV News, however, learned that the meeting is part of a series of consultations and consensus building on the transition team APC is setting up. The party is expected to come up with a committee that will relate with another one to be constituted by President Goodluck Jonathan. The National Peace Committee has commended the police for exhibiting professionalism in the cause of ensuring security during and after the just concluded March 28 nationwide elections. The committee, led by former head of state Abdul Salami Abubakar, stated this when its members paid a courtesy call on Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba at the force headquarters in Abuja. He explained the visit had become necessary because of the police role in ensuring the overall success of the Abuja Peace Accord. Lending credence to the former head of state's remarks was John Cardinal Onoyekon, a member of the committee who equally appreciated the noble role played by the police during the elections. In a response, IG Suleiman Abba described the visit as highly motivational and promised to make it a subject of lecture across police formations ahead of the April 11th elections. Now, the police authorities in Abuja have warned residents to be moderate in celebrating the outcome of Saturday's presidential election. This, according to FCT Commissioner of Police Wilson Inalegu, is to ensure that there is no breakdown of law and order in Abuja and its environs. CP Inalegu, who congratulated Nigerians on the peaceful conduct of the presidential and National Assembly elections, said there was need to sustain the orderly manner in which people turned out to exercise their franchise. Command spokesman Njuguru Manza quotes the Commissioner of Police as saying that his men are well prepared to deal with anybody or group of persons planning to cause a breach of the peace in Abuja. Now we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you news outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Now to news outside Nigeria. Gunmen from the militant Islamic group Al-Shabaab has killed at least 15 people and taken students hostage at a university in northeastern Kenya. Reports say 65 others were wounded when gunmen stormed the campus in Garissa. The number of hostages is unclear, seeing that more than 500 students are unaccounted for. Al-Shabaab, which is linked to Al-Qaeda, said it was holding Christians hostage and free Muslims, and hostages from the two groups had been separated while 15 of the Muslims had already been released. According to reports, a Garissa college student said when the gunmen entered his hostel, he could not hear them opening doors and asking people who had hidden inside were Muslims or Christians, and afterwards some security officers entered through a window and took him and some other students to safety. Kenya's Interior Minister Joseph Nkaseri stated that one of the militants had been killed as he tried to flee, but out of 815 students, 535 had not been accounted for because it is not clear how many students were on the premises at the time of the attack. And that's our package for 7. To join us at 9:45 as we bring you our primetime news. In the next half hour is the reporters. Join me shortly. Bye for now.